Good afternoon. It is Friday, January 27th, 2023. The Apostle Paul was in prison when he wrote to the Philippians, and he feared that he was facing an imminent death. Now, this death that he feared could have come from malnutrition, as the Roman prisons did not provide meals. His death could have come from exposure if he was not dressed warm enough for the winter weather. His death could have come from mistreatment and infection from untreated injuries. Or his death might have come from any number of diseases that are likely to occur with poor sanitation. It was very common for prisoners to die when they are sentenced to prison, and Paul was somewhat expecting it. And so he's writing to the Philippian church to talk to them about how he's dealing with that concept of dying. And if you've ever been in a situation where you were afraid your death was imminent, I wonder if we would have had the same courage that the Apostle Paul had. In Philippians chapter 1, verses 20 to 26, and I'm reading from the New Living Translation, second edition, he says, "For I fully expect and hope that I will never be ashamed, but that I will continue to be bold for Christ, as I have been in the past. And I trust that my life will bring honor to Christ, whether I live or die. For to me, living means living for Christ, and dying is even better. But if I live, I can do more fruitful work for Christ. So I really don't know which is better. I'm torn between two desires. I long to go and be with Christ, which would be far better for me. But for your sakes, it is better that I continue to live. Knowing this, I am convinced that I'll remain alive so that I can continue to help all of you grow and experience the joy of your faith. And when I come to you again, you'll have even more reason to take pride in Christ Jesus because of what he is doing through me." Paul says no matter what happens, he will not be ashamed. He recognizes that he did his part and he did everything that he was going to be held accountable for, and he did not have a sense of shame about his standing for Christ. And he also wanted to continue to be bold for Christ and not shrink into timidity. So often when things do not go well for us, our natural response is to shrink into a timid, I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to crawl within myself kind of action. And Paul says, I'm not going to do that. I've been bold my whole life. I'm going to continue to be bold for Jesus Christ. He says, I want my life to bring honor to Christ. Whether I live or whether I die, I want both to be an honor for Christ. He says, of living, I continue to have the opportunity to continue to be bold for Christ. I can continue teaching and preaching and sharing and helping folks grow, and that's a good thing. He says, but if I die, I just change my address and go to be with Christ, which is okay too. But I am convinced that I'm not going to die, Paul says. I'm convinced that God will protect my life so I can continue to teach and preach and help you grow and be strengthening to the Philippian church by a continued ability to communicate with them. And then he makes a promise. When we see each other again, looking forward to that reunification, he says, we're going to rejoice because God will have been faithful for both of us, and it will be a great day to reunite together. What an encouragement to be alive, to be bold, to share Christ, to help others grow. The Apostle Paul had a beautiful outlook on how to deal with the flimsy opportunities for life that occur, and he took advantage of them to continue to be bold, to continue to share. And for the Apostle Paul, death was not something that he feared, but it was something that he recognized as an ability to go see Christ face to face. He recognized that if he did die, it would cause grief to the Philippian church. And so for their sake, he wanted to continue to be alive so that he could continue to help them grow. May God use you this week to help someone grow in their belief and love for Jesus Christ. God bless you.